all the cosmetics we are putting in this layer. So this epidermis is further made of 3 layers: stratum corneum, stratum granulosum, and stratum spinosum. All the cosmetics that we use are used on this top layer. From this top layer, the cosmetics, they get absorbed from the epidermis, that is this layer, to the next layer that is called the dermis. So the top layer is called epidermis and the next layer is called dermis. So it gets absorbed from the epidermis to the dermis. And dermis is where all our glands are. I hope you know about glands, various kind of glands like sweat glands, like this is a sweat gland. Then you have sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands are the glands which are responsible for producing oil or sebum. So you can write it down. There are primarily three kind of glands in this dermis. One is a sweat gland, second is a sebaceous gland, and third, you see here, is a melanin gland. Melanin. The skin that we have is either dark or we are fair. It's because of a pigment in the skin called melanin. For the ones who have this pigment in a higher quantity, that is called a wheatish complexion or dark complexion, and that in that case the melanin quantity is high. And in case the the quantity of pigment is low, then that is a fair skin. So that is how we distinguish. In fact, there's a joke, that when an Indian, he died and he went up to the God. He said that, God, that why is it that I am so dark? And then there was a Negro also. He said, but I am even darker than you. And then there was a fair guy from Europe who went up and he said, I am so fair. So what God said, when I was cooking up you all in the oven, so when I put a Britisher there inside, so the electricity went out. So he was not able to get cook properly. So that's why, he was just too fair, so he was not being able to bake properly. And when I put in the Negro, I just forgot to take him out. So that's why, he was so dark. But when I made an Indian, so the time I put an Indian, so it was well timed at the right time, and he was taken out at the right time. So that's why, we Indians, if you see, our complexion is supposed to be the best. In the West, they are envious of our complexion. They are envious of the kind of color of hair we have. Because this kind of a color, the melanin is just at the right balance. It's neither too less nor too high. If the melanin is very high, that can also create problems, havoc to the skin. If it's too low, it leaves your skin exposed to various kind of UVA of the rays of the sun. If you know about Australia, there are so many cases of cancer, skin cancer. Why? Because the melanin is not, they don't have a layer of melanin on their skin. It's too less. So as a result, the UVA and the UVB rays, they get into the skin and then they are causing cancer in the skin. But here in India, thanks to this layer of ozone that is still there on top of us, and because of our complexion, we are able to maintain this kind of a melanin content, and we are not really prone to India's kind of skin diseases what Negroes have, and we are not even not able to get all kind of skin diseases because of the lack of melanin into our skin. Okay, so this is the basic of a skin. Basic of a skin, that epidermis, then is a dermis, and in this epidermis there are 3 layers, and then the dermis are wherever we have all our glands, and the glands are of 3 types: the sebaceous glands, the sweat glands, and the melanin producing glands. They are also called melanosomes. 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 So whatever cosmetics we develop, whatever items we are making, we are developing with an objective that the actives of the product, they get absorbed from the epidermis and they are able to go to the dermis and then able to act on the glands. For example, if it's an oily skin, we target the sebaceous gland. We try to regulate the secretion of sebum out of the sebaceous glands. So that is how we do in case of a oily skin. If it's a dark skin, then we try to bring bring down the melanin level by controlling this melanin producing glands or the melanosomes. Alright? Is everybody with me?
Yes.
So now first product that I'm coming up to is called a fairness cream. Quite an interesting product with an Indian site, and we'll come up with a fairness cream first. If you see, this is the Earth's structure. How is the atmosphere divided into different kind of layers? This is the Earth, and this is the various factories and houses and buildings and the various kind of activities which generally go about on the Earth's surface. This is the troposphere. This complete layer is called the troposphere we will live in. The layer above is called stratosphere. And above stratosphere is protective ozone layer. If you heard about the ozone layer getting depleted these days because of various kind of pollution, various kind of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbon radiations, that's why this layer is getting depleted. So another objective of our developing the herbal cosmetics based on Noni is that these are absolutely safe for ozone. They are absolutely organic. They're absolutely, this is absolutely natural. That they're biodegradable also. That they are not destroying the nature. They are not destroying any of the protective ozone layer. So, this is the sun. And the sun, when it emits out various kind of radiations like UVA, UVB radiations. And UVB and UVB radiations are then absorbed into the skin, which lead to sun damage. If you see, this is a UV rays.